Okay, we're going to do one quick audio test before we get going here. Just let me know if the audio is okay. I'll put the music back on as soon as I get an A-OK on the audio. We'll go ahead and get started. Getting a green light on the audio. All right, so we'll get started in just a little bit. All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Stock Analysis Fridays. My name is Bennett McDowell with TradersCoach.com. Once again, it's great to be here. We're here every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And the purpose of Stock Analysis Friday is actually twofold. One, if you have a stock and you're thinking about either going long or getting out, whatever you want to do with that stock, and you want a quick take on it, you come here. I put it under the microscope, do a little technical analysis, magic on it, and tell you what I think. So that's one purpose. And the other purpose here is when we get enough people here, everybody brings a few stocks, and we actually find some that we uncover that we may not have been aware of. So it's kind of almost like a stock picking service at that point. So go ahead and feel free to type in your stocks in the comments area, and you type them in caps. If you don't have access to the comments area, that just means you have to join us. Okay, in other words, you have to join our group at TradersCoach.com, and then you can put in comments. So go ahead and do that now. I'll go through some administrational items that I have to go through, of course, before we get started. All right, first thing I got to talk about are the risks involved in trading the financial markets. There is risk. It is possible to lose some or all your money trading the financial markets. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. And keep in mind, we deal in a realm of probabilities, not certainty. So even if you have an edge in the market, your analysis is profitable more often than not, it doesn't mean you're going to win every trade. So you do have to know how to do risk control, and also you very important, trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. You do not want to be trading with your rent money or mortgage money. That is for sure. And then we're going to be looking at a lot of markets. I'm going to give you analysis based off my opinion, my analysis. So please run that by your financial advisor or accountant before actually acting on that to be sure it's suitable for you. I don't know your personal situation, and of course they do. All right, if you need help in the money management area, I've got some great books on money management in front of you there. I'll put a link in the recording for you to access that. My new book on the far right, called The Art of Trading, second edition, I think is going to be my best book ever. Putting the final touches on that as we speak, so to speak. And that'll be available pretty soon, but you can do it on pre-order right now. And I have a book on Elliott Wave and Survival Guide for Traders. We're going to be looking at charts today. When we look at charts, you're going to see a lot of icons on the chart that you may not be familiar with if you're new here. And this is the software that's working in the background that's putting this on here. And we use something called the Applied Reality Trading System along with the OWL, PTF, TLM, and ERI for confirmation of trends, scalps, and also entries and exits. We also have risk control software and scanners available as well. So we try to use the software tools to uncover the market and give us an objective opinion. So you'll see that on charts as well. And then finally, like, subscribe, and share us. Go ahead and take a minute now. And if you wouldn't mind, just give us a like. That helps us in the YouTube ratings. Okay, so let me come out of here. Let's get going. Feel free to type in your stocks at any time. I'm going to start out with the S&P 500. All right, so we've had a top put in on the S&P here that so far seems to be holding recently. That was back in August. And since then, the market has been coming down. We don't think it's quite over yet because we certainly have a red, what this is called the OWL, which is optimum wave locator. That is red, so that is still bearish. We also have on this chart over here, which is also the S&P 500, a red owl as well, and a red indicator under that called the PTF. The PTF is a very interesting indicator. It is 75% accurate, and basically when you basically have three colors. It's either green, yellow, or red. And when it's red, you just find the lowest price on that chart, and there's a 75% probability we're going below that short term. So the chart on the left is our 60-minute chart. This is our short term. This is our daily chart, intermediate, and then this is our longer term chart here. And you can see the longer term chart has the upcoming forecast of it being very bearish, going below the COVID low. So we expect that to happen before this correction is over. But you know, you get zigzags in the market, and we look like we're zigging to the downside, and then after that, we'll probably have a little rally. But the rally should not be that impressive and give way to more selling until we eventually get below the COVID low. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. All right, so that's a little overall market look at. Okay, so I see the stocks coming in now. Let's see who we got out there. We got Al. Al, how are you? Let me put your stock picks up here. Okay, Al's going to keep us busy for a while. All right, Al, let's take a look. Let's start off with ARDX. ARDX. All right, so very interesting. Okay, first I'd like to take a look at the long-term aspect of it. So let's look on the chart on the right. So we go back to about 2014 on this stock. And predominantly it's been kind of, you can see the downtrend here. It's been down and now it's kind of going flat. And are we getting a move up? Is it tradable? Is that tradable, that move up? All right, so let's take a look at here on the daily chart here. And we do have an impulsive wave, okay, which is this little wave that we can see here. All right, so that's what's represented over here. And since then, it's kind of been going sideways as well. So this has been sideways ever since pretty much the spring of this year. All right, so let's see if it's retraced enough in order to think that this profit-taking move is over, or this move to the upside is over. And the answer is yes. Okay, so this is a fib retracement I've drawn in. And fib retracements basically give us an area where markets usually go to during these profit-taking times. And it's between the two blue lines here. So it's between 38.2% and 61.8%. So in this case with ARDX, that's between $3.36 and $2.26. So we just went in that zone here. We did it a couple times. So it's kind of interesting. Now, let's take a look and see what the indicators are telling us. All right, so we got a green PTF here. So more highs are coming. This just turned yellow. So short term or intermediate term, I should say, we're done with the downtrend according to the PTF. And we've got a green PTF on the 60-minute chart over here. Okay, so the only thing that's a little concerning is we still have a red owl here and a red owl here. So this is pretty close. I think it may be a little bit too early to jump in. And what I would do is put this on a watch list for right now. But notice here on this chart in the middle, I'm going to open this up a little bit here so you can see it better. Notice that on this chart here, we have two pyramids. One is blue facing down and one is blue facing up. So I would wait until this pyramid, which is looking at the fractal nature of the market and giving us a trend direction. Let's wait until that blue one turns green. And then I would go long then. So I'd give it a little bit more time, but a really good one to keep an eye on. And nice job finding it because it could be a real good trade. Where is it going to go? Well, it should go above this here. This is in Elliott wave terms. This is a 3. An Elliott wave is a form of technical analysis. that assigns waves on movements in the direction of the trend and also waves against the trend. So it looks like we have a 4 here that's so far held, and we should get a 5 out of this. But, it's very possible we get one more little quick dip before it goes. So that's why I'm not jumping in right now. Let's wait until that pyramid turns, and that'll be a better confirmation that that profit-taking situation is more definitively done. All right, the next stock we want to look at is called CLF. CLF, let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, so this is definitely a little bit of a consolidation here. All right, so we've got on the weekly chart, we've got a kind of a compression channel after a big move up off the bottom. So the big move up came roughly right after COVID, it looks like, and then it went sideways and is kind of channeling at this point. All right, the bias according to the PTF is that it should resolve itself eventually to the upside. What the PTF doesn't tell us, though, is when is that going to happen and how long could it go sideways? Not so sure. Let's see if we get any clues on the shorter time frames. All right, so what we're looking at here is we're still kind of in this channel. This is the overall channel. We did break out a little bit on this sideways channel that we've been in since August. So that's kind of a bullish sign, I would say. You also have bullishness here that we can see on the 60-minute chart. So this little movement here represents this movement here. So kind of interesting. We got green owls on both. The only thing you could do on this is that if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative is wait for prices to come back and break above this high. That's probably what I would do. So if it breaks here again, then that's a good sign and I'd go with it. So I'm liking this. The target on this would be the PTF target up here on the weekly chart. So you're talking about 35 bucks, at double your money on this one. So I'm going to put this one down as a buy. All right. And the reason for that is from a technical standpoint, we have 2 green owls in the lower time frames, and that's what I care about. We have a pyramid down here, and a little bit more of a conservative bent would be to wait for it to clear this top before you go actually into it. But I will put this down as a good buy because I think it's got some good direction to it with a definite situation that if it does break out here, which it looked like it may do that, you've got a nice profit target. Okay, so looks good there, Al. All right, thank you for sharing that one. AFRM. We're gonna have to have a little bell. We should have a little bell and ring it when we find a zinger like that. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, AFRM goes back not too far. Looks like 2022. We do have a green PTF pretty high on this one. All right, but it's going to take a long time to get up there. We do have a green PTF on the daily and also on the 60-minute. So that's really impressive. Red owls on the short time frame keep me from going into this. So what's the deal on this? Well, it's still pulling back. I'm not so sure it's done because these are red here. When it's done, your PTF target short term should be around 26 bucks. So I would wait for these to turn green and wait for a new pyramid to the upside and go. Now, you already have a pyramid entry here that puts you along with a stop down here. So you technically, that is giving you the PTF entry. So all you do is really have to wait for the green owls and then you're good to go. So AFRM is going to go on the watch list for that. But that's pretty close, I'd say. That one actually looks pretty good too. All right, CP, NG, let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, this one also, boy, this looks just like the other one. All right, so this one too is come down, not much history. All right, going sideways, bullish on the weekly chart now. We got a little bit of a red red owl back here and red owl here. So same type of thing. I would wait for this one here to try to, let's put a fib retracement for a target here. So possibly $32 to 46. So you got a tremendous target base there. That's a double your money, if not more, right? So, excuse me. So I would wait for the owls to turn green on the daily chart. So this has to go on the watch list until that happens, because I don't want to put you in and have it kind of wishy-washy, go sideways and tie your money up. All right, let's wait for a breakout a little bit, and that means a green owl on those shorter time frames. All right, not bad. Okay, CPNG, not quite ready, but certainly one good one for everybody's watch list. All right, ASAN. Let's take a look at this one. Boy, this is like a duplicate copies on all these. All right, so we've got a move off the bottom. So Al, you're obviously doing some great scans here to find some movements off the bottom, which is super. All right, your PTF long-term is here. That would be years to get there, of course. I mean, years. But let's see if we can see any type of short-term situation. You got a scalp trade on the 60 with just the PTF indicating maybe a high of around 20. So sometimes what we do is if we don't really see the trend developing, we can take a scalp trade and just take a quick trade off the volatility. And so the 60-minute chart is showing a green PTF, which indicates that at some point we should get above that high. So that opens it up for a possible price target range for a long trade. So we're at 1826 and we're saying right around 20. So not huge and maybe not worth it, depending on where you have to put your stop. But if you go for a 2-to-1 price to target, this could be a stop here. This would be your risk, and you have double the potential for profit based off your risk. So that qualifies if the stop is here. Now, here's the problem, is you got to be very careful in choosing the stop, because maybe the stop would be better here. But if that's the case, that may not give you a 2-to-1. So stop loss placement becomes important. In any case, because of the structure that we have when actually trading the markets, even though this is a possible scalp, there's two things you got going against you. One is a red owl and an active red pyramid. So I probably would not take that. Okay, I think I would find a better candidate. Not quite ready, but getting close. Okay. So again, this could be going on a watch list if you wanted to it, but I like the others better. Okay. So that's ASAN. Let's try AI. All right, so here's AI, another one, very similar, okay? Again, we got a little bit of red still left on the daily chart and some red on the weekly chart, and a messy market kind of on the 60-minute chart. Almost, you could almost draw a pennant down here, which is a form of technical analysis here, okay, on the 60, and whichever way it breaks out, usually it moves in that direction. So it's still kind of independent, so to speak, not independent, but independent. Okay, and say that 5 times fast, right? All right, so AI, I would say no go for right now, but keep an eye on it, okay? Let's take a look at your next one, CAG. I believe that's ConAgra, right? All right, CAG. All right, this one has headed down and has been heading down. So again, the problem with this one is, what do you do with it? Because it's still showing here and here more lows. All right, we may get a little rebound. This is a very, very long owl. So usually when you have a long owl like this, it starts to go green. And we're seeing that over here. So, you're not going to go short right now here. Okay, it's too late. All right. Again, is it more risky to go here or here? The answer is here, right? So you don't want to join that yet. So where is this thing? If we get a rebound, where is it going? Well, let's go and grab our fib extensions and say the profit taking or short covering here should bring it up to around $30 or $30.55 to 33. So there's a possible situation here for a counter trend trade, but you're going against this. So the better trade would be let it correct and then let the selling come back, because that's what these things are showing. The selling should come back. So I would hold off on this one, but it could be a good one. I'd put this on a watch list and watch it, but you've got probably a month or two before it's going to qualify or possibly get up into that target zone. So it'll be a messy move, so it'll be kind of difficult. It's also possible you could get one last swing up here, one low, and then go. Okay, so that's another possibility, which is why I don't want to put you long on this yet. Okay, especially with a red owl on the daily. So keep that in mind. That's ConAg or CAG. All right, BAC, I think that's Bank of America. Let's see how that bad boy's doing. All right, getting down into the 20s, or has been for a while. All right, so as you can see, all right, it was moving up okay. It was recovering after COVID. And since then, now it's coming back down. All right, so now it's kind of in this area here. So kind of, you know, if you look at it over, go back to what this is, 1997. All right, you can kind of see it's a little bit of a interesting chart because it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. So I think you can find better things in the banks right now at this point. It's still technically coming in a downtrend. So it's still coming down from a standpoint of a short term. All right. So that's where you are now. Could it bottom here and turns out, oh yeah, anything's possible, but I don't see any trading opportunities on that. So BAC, I'd let it go. All right. CCJ, let's take a look at that. All right. So we've looked at this one before, but it's been a while. Okay. So here's what we looked at before. We had this as an area of pullback. We got it between the two blue lines. Then it took off. All right. This was our first area of possible highs that went blew right through there. And so now where are we on this now? Okay. So let's remove that. Let's remove this. And this is a wave 3, it looks like. All right. So we've got that. So we may be in the beginning of a 4 and a 5. That may be where we're at on that. Let me move this bad boy over here. So yeah, we're kind of showing here. It's still strong though. All right. So any movement down here is profit taking only. Let's just see how close we are to the target. Oh, we almost hit it right there, but you don't have an ABC in here. So my guess on this is an A, B, C. So usually corrections run in these ABC patterns. Sometimes they get complex, but that you never know that in the fact. So I'm thinking this is still coming down. We got red here, red here. Red is showing more lows here. So this, if anything, is not a long trade, and I don't think it's really a short trade because the target's not that far away. So after this finishes coming down though, Al, all right, gets in here again, then it's a good long trade. So you can keep an eye on that, but don't do anything with that. I wouldn't do anything with that right now. So that's CCJ. And these are short-term. This is short-term analysis, of course. So ASO is your next one. Let's take a look at this one. All right, so we've had a high here, pull back, another high, and now we're in a correction on this at some point. So it looks like maybe, you know, we're in the zig and the zag of the market. So maybe we've got a bottom here. It could be possible. We got bullish divergence. We've got green coming in. This is almost green. This is pretty significantly low still. So in terms of, let's see, I'm sure it hit the target. So we're pretty good there. I would wait for this to turn around, okay, before considering a long trade. And it might be a pretty good one at that point. The only thing is that this is kind of an interesting configuration actually here. So I'm kind of changing my mind here. This is a 3, 4. This may be the end of the trend, 5 here. So we may be in an ABC and then start the trend over, or we may come down one more time on the next leg. So we've got to see if this is an ABC correction and then we start to move up, or if this is the beginning of a 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and then it changes direction. I'd have to go to the longer time frames like the monthly and maybe the quarterly charts to really see what cycle that's in. So for short term, I don't think you have to worry about it because you have red owls all around, so it's not time to go long anyway. All right, so I would let that one go. AAP is our next one. All right, and that is definitely fallen out of bed. It's still coming down, probably getting closer to a bottom, but not yet. Okay, so let that one go. Don't go short, it's too late. That's AAP. Really has not bottomed yet. All right, CNC is the last one here on your list. Let's see what that's cooking out here. Okay, So this one, a little bit of sideways motion, as you can see on the 60-minute chart over here, still hammering its way down. All right, and you can see the channel here. So probably not a good one right now. I think you can find better ones. All right, so not bad now. Okay, so CLF, okay, seems to be the best one on your list. That was the second one, and a lot of those others can go on the watch list. So great, thank you. All right, good sharing. All right, let's keep going here. Let me see if I can find where I was. Okay, gotcha. All right, so he's got another one here, ADM. Let's take a look at that one. All right, so ADM coming down right now, trying to find some form of profit-taking bottom. And we can see that quickly by looking over here. So we're in the range. We've got a green PTF. Only problem is we got this one here showing more lows coming. So getting close to a bottom. Let's look at it next week. You can certainly put this on your watch list because it could turn around within the next month or so, okay? But I wouldn't do anything with that yet. All right, let's take a look. Boy, you've got tons of them here. Great, love it. GPS. Let's see how that one's looking here. All right, so this one now is a different ball game. This one is starting to come alive. You can see it in the movement on the lower time frames, obviously. Green, green, yellow. This just turned yellow. So we may be near a short-term top. And this is possible target on this one, all right? So we're pretty close in terms of the risk to reward to the target. So let's let this thing, it's a kind of a little late to get in. I would have rather gotten in off this pyramid way over here. So it's a little bit late, and I don't, I'd like to wait for a pullback. We're a little too close to a short-term target on that. So hold off on that one. If you're in it, just use the pyramids, okay? I know you have our software, so just use the pyramids and follow it up. So if you get stopped out, you don't get caught in that. All right, so that's where I think it's going. All right, FYBR. FYBR. All right, not much history on this one. But again, looks like a movement down, may have a bottom here. Let's see if we have any further red PTFs. No, that's a good sign. All right, we took out this bearish pyramid here, so that's no longer active. This one's no longer active. That one's no longer active. This is still red, so we're still coming down here. Couple things you could do here. You could wait for it to come back up and break out this high, all right? And then that would confirm we get above this resistance level here. Notice we've got areas where it hits that and pulls back. So usually, you know, is that a double top and it's going to make one more low, or is that just resistance and the next time it comes up, it'll pop through there? Hard to know for sure. Kind of a messy 60-minute chart. What I'm looking at here is I'm trying to figure out if it breaks to the upside, where is it going? All right, I can't get a really good target fix on this right now, and I don't like to trade without that. Any target here, and we're almost there. So I can't recommend this one because I don't know where it's going. All right, there's not enough history for me to get a good Elliott wave on the long term either on that. All right, so that's kind of the deal with that. All right, let's see what else. Stu, hi, how are you doing, Stuart? Let's see what you got. SPOT. So Stuart, ex-San Diegan. Okay, well, you are still a San Diegan. I'm an ex-San Diegan. We moved out here to Arizona, and the weather today is just beautiful out here. It's in the cooling trend. Gorgeous. All right, SPOT. Let's see what we got for you here. All right, first of all, green PTFs across the board. All right, so that's really a good thing for more highs coming. Let's see where we are. Are we in an impulsive movement up? Okay, again, see, this has history back to 2018. And up, down. Is this a bottom? Can't really get a good Elliott wave on that, but we certainly can tell the pyramids, which are the triangulars, all right, like this impulsive wave. So where are we? Where are we going on this? Well, if we use the scalp for the PTFs, it's up to, I don't know, about 175-ish. No, more like closer to 190, I guess. And we're at 161. Let's get an exact reading on this. So I want to take a look at this high here, because it's important if you're thinking of trading to get the right numbers exact, because that's your target. So 179.82 is what the PTF saying, that there's a 75% probability markets should return now and go higher than that. So we're pretty close to that now. Besides that, where is the target on this? That's the next thing. Is this a major bottom and we're going to take off from here? Possible. Okay. Or are we just going to go up here and then drift or even come back down? All right. So there's not enough history on here for me to really get a good look. Looks like we had a completion of the trend here. We had a movement down, 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5. We could have a bottom in here. So if you wanted to take a trade to try to get off that bottom and maybe make eventually new big time highs, that's a possibility. I guess I'd only wait for this to turn bullish. Okay. All right. So we got red owls on, well, red owl on the 60-minute. So probably turn bullish here. We did get a pyramid here, but you know, as you can see, prices went below the base of it. So your stop's going to have to be down in here. So I'm going to put this on. It's not my favorite because of the target issue, but it's certainly one you could consider. Okay. And if you're long in it, then stay long and just put your stop under this area here. All right, good. All right, so let's see what else we got cooking here. All right, Lowell, how are you, Lowell? All right, so Lowell wants to take a look at KR. All right, let's see what's going on with that. I think that's Kroger, right? So KR, ooh, drifting sideways, right? All right, looks like, okay, a couple things here. Looks like we looked at this before, and this owl indicates is higher than this top. So that's a 3. So we may be going into a 4 on this. And we've got a channel here. So I don't know if you're long on this one or not, but if you're considering it, no, okay? It's got to break out of that channel. And it looks like, if anything, it may go down because it really hasn't hit the target on the weekly chart yet for profit taking. All right, DG. Let's take a look at that. Dollar General. All right, let's see what's cooking on that. I guess nobody's too hot on Dollar General these days. All right, so big movement up here being met now by selling in a big way. Now, take a look at the weekly chart. Let's just open that up. You know, in terms of an Elliott wave, that's a huge impulsive wave up, right? Huge. You had bearish divergence building here for a top, right? And then you have a big move down. So that move down is quite extensive and more than normal profit taking. So if we come over here, let's try to find where a potential, let's see, 2, 3, I'm going to say maybe long term we got here. So we're a little bit below the normal profit taking area. So that's kind of big, and it's got a red PTF. So this may be a 1 and this could be a 2. And we could be getting now ready to go up, but we got more pain to endure here. This is huge, okay? I mean, huge. So this is still coming down. And the problem is, if this is a wave 2, it can retrace all the way down to the beginning of the move before we get the next big move to the upside. So I'd stay away from this. Scalp trade, if you're thinking about one, well, you know, there's a target. That's all we can tell you based off this. Other than that, you never know when wave 2s are going to end. So that is a no-go, all right, for either a short trade or even a long trade at this time. It's not with this red. Now this is green. So on this time frame, it's showing a few more highs, but again, not enough of a target range for that on the 60-minute chart. Now, here's a possibility though. Let's just take a look at this. So we could have a rebound up to 149, which is pretty significant. Okay, so that is a possibility if you wanted to try that. You got a pyramid here. You got a pyramid here, but just know you're going against a very bearish long-term scenario. So this would be a counter trend over only. So when you have something like this, whatever your trade size calculates, cut it in half because you're going against that. So DG is kind of interesting. All right, I get it. But by the same token, it's a counter trend trade, and the owl, I think, on the weekly is just too big to go against it. So it's a little bit more risky than I'd like to do. All right, TNK, let's see what that one looks like. All right, so this one still moving to the upside, okay? Again, let's see how much movement up is left, and the PTFs aren't much help because they're just showing it's going higher than almost where prices are now. So that's not going to help. If it does, you got a bearish divergence. You've got a big move here, but again, it's too late to get in. All right, you missed a really short-term trade off the 60-minute, and on this here, okay, not exactly sure where the target's going to be on this. Let me just do this real quick. See if I can get an internal wave count in here. So 3, 4. Okay, that's 3. Okay, that's 4 inside 3. So maybe let's just do this. All right, so we're kind of in the target for the end of wave 3. Okay, this is pretty strong here. So I would imagine you're going to get a pullback and one more high into that target. Okay. So I'm not going to recommend it, obviously, because we're in the target already. But thank you. That's good to take a look at those. All right. Let's see what, Frank, we got you coming up here. TWM. TWM. Let's take a look at that bad boy. All right. So we're rising from the ashes, right? This thing got really beat up. Obviously, it's an inverse. Okay. So it got beat up and now it's coming alive here. All right, so let's just see a couple things on this weekly chart. So here's the upper range, all right? Anything can happen, anything, Frank, unless we break this, all right? So it could come up here, it could go zigzaggy for quite some time before it decides to take out this top. So it needs to do that. This is bullish, this is bullish, all right? We're starting to see a little bearish divergence in the 60. So we're probably going to get a pullback at some point. So I'm thinking if you're long on this and you want to be committed, you got to have your stop pretty low. All right. Try to keep it under this level here, this pyramid here. Do not use these pyramids if you're staying with this because you could get a profit taking wave and stop you out on this first impulsive move up. That's the way the pyramids are designed. So, that's the situation with this. I'm liking this. It's heading towards the upper band, but we do have yellow PTFs across the board. We do not have bearish divergence here. Okay, so that's a good sign. So I'm thinking a little higher on this. Couple things you can do, and let's wait and see what happens. You could be conservative, take a long-term trade if it breaks above here. All right. Unfortunately, the trade here, if you were really going to jump in early, would have been down here. So now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pyramids. And my rules state after 4 pyramids, the trend is too mature to get in, wait for the pullback. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Now, if you are in this, and you're long at 1470, okay, that's a good price. You're right under here. All right, you really have to make a decision on how committed you are, long-term or short-term. So I'll leave that up to you. If it's short-term, probably best to put your stop here, okay? But if you're a little bit longer-term, keep it under here, okay? So that's kind of where you want to be here. If you're really short-term, then use the stop on the 60, okay? And that way you lock in profits really quick. So but you probably will not make it for a long-term target on this if you use the 60, okay? So I'm going to let you handle that the way you want. But, probably knowing you, I think like I do, probably a stop here would be best. And if it pulls back, you can think about getting in again, okay? All right. Coin. Okay, Coinbase, sure. Cryptos have done great as a overall, we got those on our buy list now. Coinbase not doing as good as GBTC, Bitcoin these days, but you've got green PTFs across the border. My only problem with this, okay, I do think we have a bottom in the currencies in general, cryptos rather. So this is green, this is red. This has not changed yet. So if you're thinking about going in, let's wait for this bullishness to come back on this chart. It's here already, but it's still coming down a little bit. So just be patient, wait for it to turn around. Let's get this green and then pull the trigger. So coin, let's put that on a watch list, but an urgent watch list, because this thing could turn around in a week. All right, I'm very bullish on this. It's just that if you're, when I give you a buy, I like to try to give it to you when the momentum is going in the direction we want to go into, and the momentum on that 60-minute is still down. So I don't want to put this on a buy yet, okay? But it's right there, okay? It's really good. All right, so let's see what else we got here. All right, I think we got those. Al is back with Bud. Okay, it's too early for a Bud right now. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so we've got more pain on the Bud. All right, so right away, my eyes go to the red PTF on the weekly chart on this. So if we open up this chart, you can see, okay, it moving down. And it's come down way further than it really should have for a normal wave 4. So this was a huge change in trend. So we still got red. All right, so it's where it looks like it's, boy, that's bad. Okay, so it looks like it's going to head down below into the 30s again. Okay, so that's kind of what that's showing. And you do have a pyramid to the short side there. All right, so here you've got a green PTF. So it looks like maybe we're going to get a little movement up, probably to this inflection point here, and then more selling. So I don't think I'd go short right now. Wait until the this is a short trade, by the way. You're not going to go long here, not with a red PTF on the weekly chart. So you could go in now, okay, except for the fact that you really can't, because this is too green over here. So wait for this to go. It looks like we're going to get up into maybe, I don't know, 56 maybe before it starts to sell. And that's where I'd like to get you in. So let's look at this next week and wait for that 60-minute chart to turn more bearish before really getting into that one, okay? Coin we looked at, ABT, let's take a look at that one. All right, so that's still in the throes of a pullback. It got red owls as well. So again, let's open this one up and see. All right, very similar to what we're kind of seeing a little bit on the Dow here. So let's see what we got here. So you're kind of in the profit taking area, but you still got some bearishness coming in here, okay? Notice no red PTF. So this thing could end at any time, which is unlike the Dow. The Dow's got more severe problems than this one. All right, so at this particular point, we've got red pyramid still active on the daily with a red owl on both the, and actually an active pyramid, I think, on the 62. So it's still correcting, okay? But it may be one to put on a watch list, and when it finishes, then you can consider a long trade on that, okay? That's ABT. All right, let's take a look at BURL. BURL. All right, so this one bearish on the 60-minute chart, so it's still coming down as well. And getting close, this is interesting because we got to see if this bottom holds. If this bottom holds, then we'll have a double bottom. So basically, this is saying it will go lower than what? This price here, 115. So that would still be above the low here. So that this still could be in a bottoming sequence. So let's see what happens on that. All right, that's BURL. All right, so let's take a look here at SMTC. We haven't looked at that one. So SMTC. All right, notice what happened here. This is kind of interesting. So the PTF abruptly went from green to red. So 25% of the time, it does this. And look, it happened here too. So 25% of the time it's wrong. okay, because it's predicting more highs when it's green. So when it abruptly changes, it says, whoops, I changed my mind. Sorry about that. So this has changed to bearishness now. So, and of course, it took out the bottom. All right. So again, it's still heading down. It's still searching maybe for some type of bottom here, but you need to be hopefully out of any long trades at this point. You know, if you got in here hoping this bottom would hold, it didn't. Okay. So if you traded this impulsive wave, you would have gotten out up here. And this pyramid, of course, is indicating a downward trend. So not done yet. Red PTF still heading down. Good one to look at a little later. Okay. All right. PFE. All right. PFE also still heading down. Nice short trade if you got in early, but it's not bottomed yet, I don't think. Okay. So this one's still heading down. Again, you know, when these reach a bottom, all right, they may be really excellent trades to the long side, but we're still heading down. All right, VMI. And I don't know if you're already short on those, Al, but if you are, let me know, of course. But all right, again, still heading down. All right. Notice the red 60-minute chart. You don't want to be long. Pyramids had you short a while ago. Okay, so there you have it. All right, big bar, big price bar this week. Okay, look at that weekly chart. Okay, so still heading down. All right, and let's see here. X, long, X. Well, I haven't looked at X in a long time. Let's see. All right, green over there. Okay, so all the owls are green. All right, we've got a green PTF indicating a target here. So it looks like above 40. So open that up and see what we got cooking here. Oh boy, that's a messy one, isn't it? Look at that, way up and then way down. So, you know, is this, wow, what a long-term ride that's been. Okay, is this heading back up? Holy cow. So this thing sold off 2029. And, you know, it's come up quite a bit, but it's also settled back down. So what a roly-poly coaster that's been, right? Not a big money maker. That is not the poster child for buy and hold, is it? Okay. Woo! All right. You won't see your financial advisor showing you this one for the buy and hold strategy. So what do you do with it now? Well, you got a possibility of getting above here, but, you know, this is just not, I don't know. Not my favorite here. All right. I guess you could short-term trade this on the 60-minute. I mean, look at the pyramids captured this little impulsive move up here that lasted, you know, a week or two. So I think I'd kind of recommend this, you know, because of this roly-poly. I don't think I'd take any very significant long-term trades. Instead, I'd focus on maybe trading the 60-minute chart as the primary on this, not even the daily, okay? And so on this one here, we open up to 60, we have a little bit more orderliness, okay, on this. And that this is an impulsive wave. You can tell because of the number of pyramids. This is their pullback, so it looks like we're probably making another high. So let me just do a couple quick little things here for fun. All right. So we pulled back into the target. So that objective was met. And now what we want to do is see where the target is on this move up. So basically about 33.82 to 35, and we're already at 33.61. So not seeing much profit potential there. So I think probably what I would do on that is nothing. Okay, I'd let that one go. All right, where are you? There you are. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. All right, let's see what else we got. Frank, how are you? Okay, gold. Frank, how'd you like that day trading room yesterday? Pretty good. We ended up doing pretty well in that one trade. Had to hold it a while. Okay, so in day trading, holding it a while is a couple hours at times. All right, so let's see what we got cooking there. So gold came down. Well, we're bullish on gold, but there's some people a lot more bullish than I am on it, okay? Because if we open up the long-term chart on gold, all right, we had a 3 here. This was 2011. We had your 4 down here, and now you have your 5. So this is showing a high. We've already hit the target for wave 5 here. All right. But the PTF said, well, it's going to go back up into that target and go a little higher. So that's kind of what we're witnessing happening. So I do think it's going to get up here. So we'll have to see. If it gets up there, we're going to have to take a look at the owl and see if we have bearish divergence on the next high, because it's red now. So it'll have to go probably green, make more highs. We'll have to see. Okay. I'm not as bullish as some other people are on this. So you can certainly see the owl here is higher, which makes this a 3, right? And this owl was lower. So that is 5. Now, if by chance we get a huge move up that surprises us all, and this owl gets larger than this one, well, then that changes everything. And that's a 3, and we're off to the races again. But we don't have enough information to know if that's going to happen right now. So I have to give you what I see. And what I see here is more highs long term. But look at this. Unless this changes to green, okay, it's showing that we're still stuck in this sideways kind of motion. And that makes sense because, we've been selling off in the markets for quite some time. We've had the war in the Middle East, okay? And the market always, makes a fear-based knee-jerk reaction to that kind of stuff. And maybe, we're getting close to a short-term bottom in the market, and we'll see stocks rally a little bit. Again, I don't think the rally is going to be significant enough to do anything more than just get people excited for a couple of weeks. And then I think it'll dissipate and sell off again, because I'm bearish on the market overall. So this is what we could be seeing. If we get any type of short-term rally in the market, you may see people leaving gold, going back into the market and heading down one more time. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So if you're trading the 60-minute chart, yeah, you've had a nice trade, okay? And more highs are coming. So this is saying more highs are coming here. And if this stays red and doesn't turn green, then that's an indication that we could get the money leaving gold if we get any type of rally in the market. Now, if this turns green, okay, then we've got green here, green here. This will probably turn yellow, may stay green, but then that's different. Okay, we'll have to reassess it and look at it again because it may be going up for its final wave sooner rather than lower. But that's kind of where I'm at now. So I would not do anything with this. If you're in it, you stay in it if you want, but and go for a longer term horizon. Otherwise, that red PTF, I'm a little nervous about taking a short-term trade on that. Things have got to change. All right, silver. All right, so silver is one that's been kind of interesting. Pretty much every talking head on YouTube had you buy silver at 26, right? Everyone you talk to, it's the best thing. You're gonna need to go into the metals. Cash is going to be useless, so please do that, blah, 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 right? Well, from a technical standpoint, I haven't seen much bullishness in silver, okay? And, there's more bullishness in the cryptos than in the metals right now. Now, that doesn't mean things can't change, okay? But being technical traders, we'll see it when it changes. So I'm not in any rush to get in it right now. But things have got to change. We've got to see some movement up. We got to break out of this channel. We got this has got to go away. Okay. Right now it doesn't look too bullish to me. And it reminds me of TLT. I mean, look at TLT. That's the bond market that everybody was, on YouTube was saying to buy before, right? And look, this had a bottom. Okay, many people thought, oh my gosh, I was saying don't buy because this was red. And people thought I was just plain wrong. I missed it. But look what happened. Okay, I rely on this indicator a lot. The probabilities of the accuracy rate on that are too high to ignore. So I kind of rely on it. Now, do I think TLT will be a good buy at some point? Sure. An absolutely home run of a buy, but not now. All right, this is still red. It's still coming down. I mean, you have active pyramids galore. So doesn't mean it can't pop up a little, but you know, if this remains red, it's going down again. All right, so it's not a buy yet. So if we go back to silver, all right, this is why I say when the PTFs are red, I kind of don't want to do anything with it. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. So, you know, gold and silver, you know, you would think during market sell-offs it would be doing fantastic, but I don't see it doing that great right now compared to other things that you could possibly go into. All right, now let's see what you got here on SO. SO is red PTF here, so you don't want to go long on that. So are you thinking of a short trade on this? You've definitely got a possibility here. I mean, here is 61, we're at 66. You could put your stop here, and then your risk to reward would almost be 3-to-1. So that's good, but you got to wait for that to turn red. So even if it needs to come down here before going short, you still have 2-to-1. So I'm liking this. Also, too, you might get a pull down here, pull up, and then a pull down. I love this configuration because that's the definition of a downtrend. Then you have it there, too. So usually when I go short or go long and things are just turning around, I like to have that configuration of a possible pyramid forming in here, okay? Kind of just makes it more definitive. So yes, this goes on a watch list for a short, okay? But not yet, because we got to wait for that configuration to roll over some, okay? But the PTF target on the short-term time frame is over 2-to-1. So I'm liking that. All right, BTU, see, take a look at that bad boy. Boy, you guys are amazing today, all of you. Great job. All right, so red PTFs across the board. Again, we're getting a little bit of a movement up here just on the price bar itself. And also we still got a little green left here, I think, red here, red here. So I certainly don't want to go long, but I got to tell you, I'd be, you know, here's a possibility as well. If you focus on this time frame, okay, if this turns around, all right, then you might have a PTF scalp trade. Even though the owls are red, okay, you can see here the owl is red, but you also have it moving up. And I would like to see that type of price pattern first and then see what the risk to reward is, okay, for a quick scalp trade. But I'm not going to go short with that bullish price bar, okay? You have to look at not only the indicators, but the price bars too, because you don't want to go short on a configuration like that, right? All right, let's see. Okay, good. All right. Frank, let's see. Day trading was great. We did well. Yep, we did pretty good yesterday. All right. Okay, thank you, Gene. I missed Alexander's. Okay, the SDOW, which is the inverse of the Dow. All right, that's moving up. We got a target right there for it. Okay, so we talked about this before. Okay, so that's our short-term target. Now, what's going to be interesting is this a bottom? And, you know, I'm talking about a little rally. So if we get here, all right, then it probably is going to head down, maybe during the rally. Then we're going to see if this bottom holds. Okay, could hold, you know, because you got a bullish divergence here. So you did have a lower low with less momentum. You no longer have this green. This is yellow now. This is yellow, but this is green long term. So I think what we have to see here that's going to be very telling is that I think you've been in this a while, Alexander. I'm not sure, but make sure those stops are low, okay? Because if this is a bottom, you're going to see a pullback. and then another surge. And if you want to take some profits, if you see a pullback in this area again, you can. But if your intentions is long-term, because this just turned green, this may be a bottom. And this would be something you could hold as a hedge against the falling market. And even a successful trade, it would be similar to shorting the down. All right. So the answer is yes. There's no longer any active pyramids to the downside. Prices went above the flat parts of the pyramid. So without a doubt. So here's what I think I'm going to do on this. I'm going to recommend this one and put this on the buy list as a hedge and a short-term trade to the target. But that's not really the trade because your risk to reward's not there at this point. It was earlier. But this is more of a long-term hedge or a long-term trade, assuming this is a bottom. So you got to get your stop pretty low on that. All right. So I'll put that down. Again, there's some other things I'm looking at on the Dow. I'd like the Dow to get below 31,000 before I really start recommending inverse ETFs. But that hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to put that on there. You know, the indicators are indicating there's something there. Okay. All right. So that's there. SOX. I would not go into a lot of these right now. Okay. This is coming off its bottom too nicely. So this one is actually pretty good too. Actually, I like this one almost better because it's closer to the bottom. Boy, that's a nice one. Okay, that's a nice move off this one. So SOX, I'll put down as a buy, and I like it better than the other one because this can even be a short-term trade to this target. Okay, so SOX is a winner today. Okay, SDOW, I'm going to count as kind of a hedge. All right, let's see. Then this is a hedge too. All right, SPXU. Let's see how this one looks. All right, so this one's kind of like the SDOW, and then it's already closer to the target. Okay, so I like SOXS best. And again, there's nothing wrong with this one either. Okay, for a hedge. Okay, or a trade. Okay, you don't have a green PTF over here yet, a green owl over here yet. So that looks like it's coming, but you certainly have some bullishness in here. Okay. All right. So I like SOXS the best. Boy, SOXS. Yes. All right. So that's the one I like the best. All right. So good job on that. All right. Did I miss anybody else? Not sure. Okay. I think that is it. All right. So listen, on the timelines for the recordings, I'm going to change things a little bit. I'm going to put the winners up on the timeline. I'm not going to list every stock because I think the feedback I've been getting is people wanted to have the winners up there so they could find them easier. Okay, so I'm going to put the winners up, and I agree. Okay, I think that would be good just to be able to look at the recording, go right to the winners. Okay, so that's what I'm going to post. So I'm going to post CLF and all the ones Alexander just showed, the SDOW, the SOX, and the SPXU for this at this time. Okay. So those are the ones I'll put on there. All right. Any interest at looking at some of the day trading timeframes before we go? I'll go over there real quick. All right. Let's just see quickly. This is our day trading situation. Let me just remove that. Okay. So you can see the charts. So we had the MCL is kind of moving down a little bit here this morning. And looks like it's heading down some more. Let's go over here. Just take a look at the MES. Kind of a little bit messy this morning. PTFs are indicating more lows, so it's coming down right now here a little bit. All right, let's see the NG. This is the Henry Hub natural gas. Jim, if you're here, then this is one that Jim likes to trade, and we've done pretty well on this one. That's heading down too. Notice the PTFs are red on the short time frame. So gold, let's see how gold is. It's kind of messy, range bound. And we got the MNQ. Okay. Kind of a little messy there too. MYM, a little bit more clearer on the move down. So we're experiencing the move down. M2K, these are all future markets, by the way, micros for the most part, except for NG. All right, that's heading down too. So a little bit bearishness, okay? A little bit of bearishness in the markets. All right, and Alexander likes this one, the M2K. So I'm thinking short trade on this one. Looks pretty good, Alexander, okay? And you've got a PTF indicating one target here, so you could scale out here. But let's see where the fibs are showing this thing could possibly go. So let's just do a quick fib extension on this. So I'm going to go from here to here to here. And so that's pretty much right at the target of the PTF. So yeah. So, all right. So here's what you want to do on this. All right. So we've got to move down. We got here. All right. I would say you could short it. Okay. I know we had an up price bar, but I think it's looking pretty good. Let me just do one quick thing. So let's wait and see. We got a bullish price bar here and maybe an inside price bar there. So let's just see if this remains inside. If it takes out the low, I would short it. If we get an inside price bar, I would wait to see how prices break out on that inside price bar. So I'm trying to micromanage the entry, even though I know the entry should be to the short side, okay? Now, I'm not too crazy about using this for a stop. I'd like to get it up here, all right? Okay, so now you can, I would short that, okay? All right, so that's kind of how I would do that today, all right? And your stop's got to be high enough because you could have a little volatility coming in here. All right, so that is it for today. Thank you, everybody. Great day. Boy, we really came packed with some picks today. We went through a lot of stocks today. So there you have it. All right, you want to take a quick look at XPS? I don't think we did that one, did we? I'll do this last one, and then I'll put it on the intraday time frame. Go back to the M2K here. After that. All right, so let's see what we got cooking here. Oh, you meant that's the wrong symbol. Okay, yeah, you meant the SPXU. Okay, I think that's what you meant on that. Okay, so let's keep this here like this, okay? All right, let's see what happens with that one. All right, let's keep it here. I'll put a little music on, and you know, I can't keep the room open forever, so I have to close it in a few minutes when we get past the hour. So I'll give it another 3 or 4 minutes, and I'll close the room. But everybody have a great weekend. I guess we've got Halloween coming up, right? All right, so Frank, I noticed you had your costume on today. That's a joke I use for all my kids and everything. So don't feel offended. All right, so have a good one, and we'll see you back here next week. Thanks, everybody.